One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1138, The Harley. Last we left off with One Piece. Well, first we have a cover page update. Who's Who is back. And it seems... that. Yeah, I mean, his headquarters was shaped like Who's Who. So it turns out Who's back.
Oh.
He's back.
Honestly, he has a pretty cool design. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he looks pretty.
Does he?
He looks pretty swagged, I guess. Out, with the kimono.
He does.
He looks cool. But he's back and he's chilling with, I guess, the remainders of Kaido's crew, the kidnapped people that have been going around Wano or seem to be, working for him in various capacities. I feel like there's going to be more to this story than it seems, but. Yeah, Who's Who is back, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of Kaido's people throughout this. But
yeah, like in pockets.
Yeah, the remaining crew members that survived.
What are they called? The numbers?
The headliners, I believe. No, the headliners were like the strong, like underlings, but not really. What were they? It doesn't matter. There was a Toby Roppo.
Yeah, I forget the hierarchy. I just think the numbers were like the grunts, like all of the
The numbers, I believe, were like the giant things.
Oh, you're right. It was those big ass. Yeah. What
yeah, I think they were ancient giants. I think that's what they were supposed to be, but I could be wrong. In any case, we start off this chapter with Loki not doing too well after the Holy Knights, Gunko and Shamrock, have been beating on him and forcing him to trying to force him to join the Holy Knights. And Loki speaks out and says that for as much as you look like him, you got to be related to that red-haired pirate. And we do get confirmation that Shamrock is indeed Shanks's twin brother, the older one of the two, and that at some point Shanks has left. I am assuming because he ended up with Roger as a baby. And Shanks mentioned that he did return to the Holy Land once, but he seems to prefer as Shamrock put it, the filth of the lower world. So, that's interesting. Loki is like, returned, then I see your bloodline has earned my ire twice over. So, he's like, you'll rue this day. Once I get these chains off, you know what'll happen, do you? And we cut over to the animals of the forest. And, Loki mentions how he's watched his friend's fate decided before his eyes, and now he bears the cost of it. So Shamrock takes that as a threat, and he summons his sword that seems to be a sword that has eaten an ancient devil fruit or a mythical zone fruit, the Cerberus, and it manifests as an awakened Cerberus devil fruit user that has swords coming out of all three of its mouths. Pretty cool.
What's interesting is that it doesn't say it's a devil fruit.
I think you can assume, right?
But usually, isn't devil fruit stuff usually immediately clarified as like a devil fruit thing?
Yes and no, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it has all the bearings of the devil fruit, like we know weapons can eat it, and we see the little cloud thing around it. I wouldn't be surprised. It may not be.
Oh, yeah, the cloud, right. I didn't think about the cloud.
It reminds me more of the Gorosei than what it is. I feel like it has more to do with what's going on with the Gorosei than a regular devil fruit.
Yeah, but
I mean?
Ancient devil fruits, I think it's more of a devil fruit that the sword ate, but we'll find out, I guess, at some point.
That's a cool foil to Shanks too, but I guess we could talk more about this another time.
Yeah. So Loki immediately starts freaking out, like, what the fuck is that? And Shamrock is like, my sword. Shamrock and Gunko start to leave, and Shamrock commands his Cerberus to scramble, and its heads shoot out like rockets, while the rest of the body reintegrates itself with Shamrock's sword. And as he's flying away, Shamrock tells Loki that if he should survive, to come find him and kill him because he'll be ready for him. And then as these things like homing missiles are keying into Loki, Loki's like, whoa, you don't mean it. Even I can't handle getting run through by those. And then he gets fucking impaled 3 times over by the Cerberus swords. And Loki seems to have passed. I doubt it. But, you know, he got stabbed 3 times by a dog sword.
Yeah.
It's not looking good.
I mean, I'm sure he's still alive, but he's definitely not okay.
Yeah, people in One Piece have survived worse. Weirdly enough.
L survived a nuke, so I think.
Yeah, after Pell survived a nuke, anybody can survive anything. You'll get there, Josh. Anyway, we cut back to Luffy and the gang in the Arust Castle, where they find the giants that Shamrock and Gunko ran into when they first got there, and they're explaining that they saw Shanks, and that Shanks beat them up. And Luffy refuses to believe it. It's like, there's no way that Shanks will beat them up without a good reason. And they're like, I don't know. We saw what we saw, bro. And, you know, after Luffy has insisted over and over that Shanks would never do that, they start to think, is like, you know, I guess they were 2 identical people, maybe brothers. I don't know. I guess that could be true. And then Luffy explains that, well, I've never heard Shanks talk about his family. Just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little. As our mysterious cloaked figure starts to walk up towards the Aurus castle.
Oh, shit. Should we do a wrong Burgundy bet?
Okay.
Well, you are a glutton for punishment, huh, Brian?
I'm down to do it. I'm down to take it on. Because I'm pretty certain...
It's either Scopper or it's...
I'm hoping it's Scott.
What's his name?
Keep saying his name.
Me personally, I think it's Scopper.
What Shiki?
So
It's either Scopper or Shiki.
I
Where's
think
the bold take that it's Shiki? You think it's Shiki? No fucking.
You want to do it,
It
Sprite?
kind of looks like him. It kind of looks
look,
like his attire.
Brian's... I don't know. I don't think it's him, but...
Oh, it could be.
But, you know, because the back profile looks like him, Shiki does have this kind of hair. You see that his cloak back in the day. Yeah, he has that that same striped thing. I'm not going to say that it is him. I'm going to say that it's Scopper. And I'm sticking by it. And that will be my wrong Burgundy bet.
All right. I'll be the Shiki. I
want to say one thing. I want to appeal to you guys before y'all really seal the deal on this bet. I'm going to try to talk you guys out of this, okay? Because I don't think this is that serious. Listen.
It is that serious.
It is that serious.
This is a duel between brothers.
Just listen, all right?
All right, I'm listening.
Oda said that Strong World was not canon. We know this already.
The events of Strong World are not canon, but Shiki is canon.
Right. I know I'm not memeing right now. I'm being serious, okay? So I don't think he would like invalidate his movie that hard by throwing Shiki right in their face and everyone acting like they haven't seen him before. Listen, it's one thing to have a movie with characters that you never had to worry about them coming up in the story again, but that's really fucking bold. You know, Strong World is a movie that probably still makes money for him or the studios. You know what I'm saying? And like, I just think that's too bold. That's too bold. Like, I think it's fine if we just leave Shiki to the past and then he's never back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give that reason particularly. I just don't think that Shiki would have any reason to be friendly towards the Straw Hats.
So he's really older now. He's different. He's changed.
He would be the same age he would meet.
The real world appeal of him not doing that to like a story that came out from One Piece, like a movie.
I don't think it's him. What if we're both wrong?
He just jacked his whole swag. So you're saying if it's Scopper just jacked Shiki's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that Shiki had a monopoly on striped cloaks.
I knew he was gonna say
and long hair.
And long hair. Only Shiki could rock those things.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna tell me because this guy, whoever he is, certainly is the father of that giant kid,
Colin.
You're telling me
You know
Shiki
what?
bagged Ripley?
Yeah.
You know what, Brian? I didn't hear you answer. Like, I didn't hear like your reaction to like what I was trying to say. Chris said he's not willing to accept that as like a reason for Shiki not being in it. But does that mean anything to you? Do you really think the movie just doesn't matter that much at all? I know it's not canon, but it's still a One Piece movie.
Yeah, no, it was like honestly
One of
I
the
think
most
that's the
popular
best.
ones at that.
I think it's the best One Piece movie, not gonna lie. But I
Well,
think
can't say, so.
I think Shiki's was a pretty cool character, and I'd like to see him back in the story in like a bigger role. Not gonna lie.
Nah.
Like his devil fruit was sick. His lore is sick.
I'm writing it down right now.
All right, it's locked in. The wrong burgundy bed. The first
Wait,
wrong
what happens
burgundy.
if it's neither of them?
Are we both,
wrong
burgundy? I will accept that. If it's neither Scopper nor Shiki, I'm okay with being wrong burgundy.
All right, fine, me too. Because it
That's
has to
lovely
be
to me.
either of them. Because it cannot. There's no
nice.
third person that it could be.
That's
Other
what
than-
I think.
Well, maybe it
So-
could be the author guy.
Author guy.
Yeah, remember the guy at the beginning of the arc?
Don
where they're
Freaks?
just like, yeah. What? No. The guy who's like was writing the books and he's just like, don't stay on Elbaf for too long.
Oh, you think it's him?
It could be him.
Louis
but
Arnott?
yeah, there's nobody else it could be aside from those three, right?
The fucking guy has to be 800 years old. He wrote that like mad long ago.
All right.
Oh, I don't know, Brian. Now you got me thinking, fuck.
There's only three people it could be.
No, but
Shiki,
then-
Scobber, and
Louis Arnott.
Arno.
But wait, why would he be chilling with Crocus?
He was just traveling the world. Just writing shit.
I don't like it. I'm sticking
He
with
can float, right?
no.
Yeah, the float.
That's what Shiki has.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about someone else.
Yeah, we're talking about Louis
I
Arnott.
think it's fair that if both y'all are wrong, no one has to do the wrong burgundy. It's all wrong. Burgundy is personal. Wrong
Yeah, but we'd
burgundy
be
is about
wrong.
You were wrong. I was right, and you're gonna suffer. You're gonna feel how wrong you were. That's what it's about. So if neither of y'all were right, it's not. There's no. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Well, then what are the stakes?
What do you mean? What are the
What are the
stakes?
stakes if we're
If
both
one of y'all
wrong?
are
We're putting
right
our
about-
pride on the line here.
I need
Yeah, that means
I need the
if it
high
happens
rope.
to be Shiki or Scopper. If it's anybody else, y'all were both wrong, and that's a regular. Y'all was wrong.
I appreciate you trying to spare my life, Josh.
It's not about that. Y'all not listening to my. Are you listening to the logic?
I am, but
trying to
you could say
guilty
the
our
same
rational
logic
time.
for us taking on the wrong burgundy moniker because we were
I
both
appreciate
incorrect.
you trying to spare my life is great.
Right. You have like someone has to be wrong and someone has to be right. So,
But
and I'm gonna
both
make an,
people
and
in
I'm
this
gonna- I'm gonna
situation can be
also
wrong.
suggest another amendment while we're here. After this, I think all future ones. You know what? Nah, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say they have to include all three of us, but nah, they don't have to.
do you want to make a guess?
No, please. I have no idea. That might be somebody we've never met, and I'd be okay with that.
Oh shit. You willing to be wrong burgundy about it?
No, I just told you no. I got it written
Oh
down
my god, I'm
right
scared
here.
because it might also be someone from Wano.
What is
Okay.
it?
It might be someone from Wano.
Well, we
Hey,
could
listen,
finish
I'm
up the
locked
chapter.
in, Chris.
I'm also locked in. I'm not saying anything, but
All right.
All right, Scott or Shiki.
what if it's one of the guys that escaped when Yamato let him go? What if it's
But this guy visited Crocus.
what if it's one of the Shimotsuki swordsmen that escaped that looked like Zoro that was chilling with Yamato in the cave? I can't do it. I'm locked in. It's Scopper. It's Scopper for sure.
Good luck, pal.
Look,
See you next
look,
week.
Luffy, as he's walking up, Luffy's saying that he was on a pirate ship when he was little. And look who's walking up. Someone he would have been on a pirate ship with when he was little.
Yeah, good luck, buddy. Good luck, pal. See you next week. See you next week, pal. We'll see.
You think I'm scared of you?
Oda's on my side, buddy.
Oda's on my
Sorry.
side, dude. I'm his most fervent supporter. I'm like his Robin.
Shiki when you're looking at him.
I'm like his Robin. I'm reading all the texts. I'm trying to find the void sentry.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm throwing the dog in this race. It ain't Shiki.
Oh,
Ooh.
I gave that whole theory. You know what? And my reason is because of I don't think he's gonna shit on the movie like that.
he's not gonna shit on the movie.
Listen.
It's
But
gonna
I
be
don't know.
peak.
I don't think it's gonna be Scapa though. I just don't think it's
Listen to
gonna
the
be Shiki.
words as he's walking up. But I've never heard him talk about his family. Just that he was on a pirate ship since he was little. I thought Roger and Rayleigh and those guys were his family. The Roger pirates.
Yeah, and then it's the ultimate
And then it's gonna be
subversion. It's the ultimate subversion because they're like, oh shit, yeah, we're talking about the Roger pirates. Psych, it was his greatest rival, quote unquote.
Shiki was
Allegedly
not
greatest.
his greatest rival.
Allegedly,
He was not his greatest rival. That was Whitebeard, if anything.
one of his rivals.
Yo, Roger stuck a fucking wheel in his head.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why he's wearing the hat.
What?
You never noticed
Notice-
Shiki has like a fucking like ship's wheel on his head?
Gold D Roger?
No, Shiki.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He has like a ship,
They haven't shown
like a
his head
wheel.
and they haven't shown his feet.
Which are pegs.
And the hair color is wrong for Scopper.
feet are
Scopper
swords,
has
actually.
black hair.
He's old now.
So
He got gray hair.
it doesn't even look gray. It looks
It's
more like
fucking
blonde.
black and white, Brian. What do you want?
I don't know, man.
Okay. We'll see.
I'm locked in.
You'll all see. God, I hope I'm not wrong. Anyway, moving onward. We go over to Team Frankie, which is literally just Frankie and Ripley. And they're just walking, you know. Ripley is literally carrying Frankie like an action figure, which I think is kind of adorable in a way. And Frankie is just being stoked about all the Jewel Atom tree. And he's like, wow, I guess the wood's not that rare after all. And Ripley's like, is it really that valuable? Maybe I should go into the business and start selling it. And Frankie's like, well, you know, you can't because then, you know, Saul already scolded me for trying to take some. He said, this is a holy tree. Don't you go cutting pieces of it loose now. And he's making Ripley laugh. Go look at Frankie. Fucking goated, just flirting with the giant. So she puts him down, and Frankie notices a giant mural that we see, and Ripley explains that the mural was drawn by children, and it's a cultural relic due to its historical value. The mural was like carved and fossilized into the tree by children like 800 and 900 years ago, between 800 and 900 years ago, which means this was drawn during the Void Century. And Frankie's like, whoa, we got to show this to Robin. And he's like, I'll tell her about it later. And then he's looking at it. He's like, well, I got to say, for an Elbaf, for a drawing from Elbaf, they don't all look like giants to me. And we see a little princess that with little scales on one. We see Emmett.
Mermaid.
Yeah, we see a little Emmett action going on. We see this little animal. And Ripley goes on to explain that in the history they're familiar with, there were sometimes wars between races, but never a cultural exchange. And maybe that simply means that this was nothing more than a child's dream. And I gotta say something about this in our thoughts section, because I think this is kind of important and a little bit of foreshadowing. So, yeah, we cut back to the Walrus School where Saul is showing off the Harley, which is the historical text of the giants. And Saul explains that all the various myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on this original text, and there are so many interpretations on it. And it means that the sun god and all the warriors of Elbaf believe in, that all the sun gods of warriors of Elbaf believe in, has a different personality depending on who is telling the story. And Yeah, Robin asks to read it, and Saul explains, of course you can read it. He explains that the story is split up into 3 chapters, and they say that the 3rd chapter describes the world they are currently in. And it's about something that's going to happen in the future. He says, in fact, the legends of Nika are seeded all throughout the world. The one common feature is that he always shows up laughing to this rhythm. And Saul starts doing the Nika dance, and Robin starts reading it. And the chapter ends with a big 2-page spread revealing the mural as we see Robin reading the 3 chapters of the book, which are the first world, the second world, and the third world. We will go into the mural and the text in our thoughts section because I've written notes. So, yeah, let's get into it. That was One Piece chapter 1138. Josh, do you want to go first? I thought you mentioned wanting to not go first.
I'll just share my thoughts real quick. This is my chapter of the week.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I mean, it goes without saying for me too.
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, or GC.
Hey, it's a unified, really good chapter of the week. Let me find the drop.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Okay, go for it, Josh.
Okay. To start with, going all the way back to Shamrock, I really like his ability or whatever. You know, maybe he has his own devil fruit too, which is why I think his sword is definitely a devil fruit power. I think there's like layers to this, like that, because that could be a way for him to like have 2 different abilities. So just speculation, but man, the Cerberus sword. I mean, I used to crack so much jokes about this sword that ate a gun fruit. What was it? The sword that ate a dog fruit.
Yeah, it was a gun that ate a dog fruit.
And then what else? A sword that ate an elephant fruit? Or
Yeah,
like
that's
that?
Spandam's sword.
Oh man. So I mean, for us to just get to the logical conclusion of ancient Zoan that was fed to a sword somehow. Yeah, that's really sick. I mean, and with heads that launch off.
Yeah, it's an awakened sword at that.
Yeah, it's awakened. It's been through some shit.
Yeah.
And you just pick that up. That ain't for show, man. That's for real. Yeah, Loki's dead. Not really, but you know, he got stabbed 3 times. Someone's gonna have to revive him or something. I want to talk about this mural a little bit and what I see on the last page. That's Laboon's grandfather. We have the animal person. That's Cat Viper's great grandfather. That's Emmett, regular Emmett. You know, that's the king. You know, with the horns. That's the you know, giant king. And you see all these different boats. I mean, like you see the Sun Pirates one. That's probably the fish. Well, they already have the mermaid there. I mean, I get what's going on. I see the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fighting against Emu. And look on this boat. They got 5 people there. 5 elders. See?
Mm.
So I checked some stuff out. Just wanted to shout some things out before.
It's pretty good.
All right. In the first page, so there's like a large snake-like creature, and there's another one on the left side, like a bird-type creature. I think that's Onyx and Charizard from the Pokemon series.
Do you think they crossed over?
Yes. And that's why it's the Void Century. Because it's covered by copyright in Shueisha. So, yeah. Charizard's in the tree and Emu's a hater. Brian, what were your thoughts?
I don't have much to say, but I did notice something. So on the first page, between the fire that's being breathed on by like the two giant creatures, what does that look like to you guys?
It's the Arc Maxim.
That looks like, and there's also lightning coming out from it too. I've noticed as
It's
well.
the Arc Maxim.
Yeah, and it's close to the moon too, so it's just no coincidence. That is for sure Eneru's fucking ship. Pretty fucking crazy to see it reappear like this. People have been literally every time a shadowy figure comes up, they are like, "Oh, it's Eneru. It's Eneru. Eneru's back. Eneru's gonna show up during Wano. Eneru's gonna show up during Dressrosa. Eneru's gonna show up here." Everybody has been waiting for this motherfucker to come back. This guarantees that he is coming back at some point in this series. Guarantees.
You willing to stake your pride on that?
Yeah, I'd be willing to be wrong Burgundy on this too.
I would also be willing to be wrong Burgundy about it.
There's no. This is the only genuine proof that we have of Eneru coming back into the series. Like before, it was kind of like maybe he might come back, maybe he might not. But this is legit hard physical proof that he's going to come back. And honestly, hey, people forget Eneru is actually a fucking big problem. He is a big fucking deal guy. He only lost by coincidence. He only lost because Luffy just happened to be his natural enemy. He washes all like 90% of One Piece.
Oda has once said that Eneru's devil fruit is technically the strongest.
Yeah, have you seen the shit that he did in Skypiea? He literally can nuke people from anywhere in like from miles away from him.
Yeah, but people got hockey now. You know,
He has hockey.
He does not. He has armor. He has observation hockey.
Yeah, his observation hockey was so fucking
You mean a fighter
powerful.
who relies on hockey?
Yeah, man. Zoro could slice him up.
He probably could now.
Yeah, he
You know
probably
about
could.
the onigiri?
I don't know. I still think that's pretty wild that makes a reappearance here after all this time. But yeah, those are my thoughts. That was the main takeaway for me. I was just like, oh shit.
Okay. All right. So I wrote notes, and I don't usually write notes because I'm a bad note taker, but this time I had to. But first, I want to do some other tertiary things that I wanted to note for this chapter. The Cerberus sword is very cool. I hadn't considered, Josh, that Shamrock might have a devil fruit of his own. And I think that's a very interesting thought, especially since that would make him even more of an inverse to Shanks, who's obviously...
A hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
So, you know, that's
A sword fighter, which is like
Exactly.
the opposite. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, I definitely think that there's merit to what you said there. I think Ripley mentioning about the cultural exchange. There have been many wars between the people, between races, but never a cultural exchange, and that being nothing more than a child's dream is very similar to how people react to Luffy when he tells them their dreams. So I think that Luffy maybe not specifically is dreaming for a cultural exchange because he's dumb, but it's more of a uniting of the people all around the world in some way, probably to have a party. Or maybe to, you know, the cultural exchange could be food related, you know, like a big party where everybody brings their culture's food and they all eat together and it's a big old party. But I feel like that was like kind of foreshadowing on their part. Now on to the mural, the main event. And, you know, I do know that there are many YouTube channels out there that probably broken this down way better than I probably am about to. But you're here with us, and we appreciate that. So let's get into it. I want to start with this little city on the far right of the page. This is that city that was eliminated by the world government. That's what I think, because it is. You see the little machines there, the little mechanisms. We've known before that it says that this society was very technologically advanced, and I think this is the children's way of explaining that. Just little random machines, buildings. It looks like a refined city that existed in the first world. This serpent, the only connection I can make with it is that the Shandians that currently live in Skypiea, they believed in the serpent god, which we know it's not Onyx. Unless you want to make a wrong Burgundy bet about that.
No. Not that certain.
No. But yeah, this
There might
serpent,
be Felix.
this serpent was known as the forest god. And so are so is the snake that lived in Shandia at the time. So I think that's that snake. That's that snake from that pantheon. There's a god. There's a sun god snake, and there is a serpent that is a forest god as well. So I think that is the two gods that are clashing. And we do know there are multiple interpretations of the sun god. So that is what we see here. Obviously, we see the Arc Maxim that must have ended up on a sky island somehow during this war. And Eneru probably found it and fixed it with the labor of the Skypians that he captured. Yeah, we do see the mention of the moon, which is exactly where Eneru ended up. And yeah, we see people carrying these little pieces of sun. My initial instinct is that this is the mother flame somehow, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. We also see the Noah's Ark that was in the Fishman Island rising up at this point. And the animals down there below might be the Neptunians, but that's neither here nor there. I don't really have a whole lot beyond that. The tree in the middle,
the arc rise?
you see it in the bottom, where the Ark Maxim is coming in from the sky. You see Noah's Ark down below.
Oh, yeah, like that's probably Noah's Ark, yeah.
Yeah, and there's an angel down there, which is interesting. I don't know who that is. It's probably a Lunarian of some sort. We only know of people the only people who have wings are the Lunarians and Skypians.
So that's probably a Skypian, and the other is probably a Lunarian on the other side by the whale.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. There's this weird dragon thing that might be the sun god of that time, and it clashed with the forest god, creating a void. The second world text is a little vague. The only thing I can really draw from it, and this is my big theory, is they mentioned that the half moon dreamed, those of the moon dreamed, man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. I think that this talks about the emergence of the devil fruits, because the devil fruits are created from dreams of people that want something or want to become something. They represent an evolution in mankind, and the sea god stormed. And the sea god is known to get angry at those who eat devil fruits and rob them of their ability to swim. So I think the second world is when the devil fruits came along. The third world is supposed to be now, like what we're going to see. So, obviously there's Luffy as Nika. He has a sword and shield. I don't know how literal that's supposed to be taken, that he has a sword and shield. I wouldn't take it super literally. We see possibly Loki, and that I think this is that giant sword that's embedded in the island of Elbaf that he's wielding, which is, if true, is pretty sick.
Yeah.
The ship with the little circles on it, I think that's supposed to be Alabasta. Because we see one person, and that's probably Vivi, and another person. I don't know who that would be. We see the Wano samurai, who are probably going to pull up at some point. The guys with the sword and the little ninja stars. Yeah. It's clearly Wano people. The little animal thing with the sword could either be a mink or it could be Yamato. Because Yamato also has a wolf devil fruit.
Yeah.
That's true.
This whale, I've heard similar thoughts that this could be the same as Laboon's thing, I'm not super convinced, but I don't have a counter argument. So
He's as big as a Neptunian. He's basically a Neptunian himself, isn't he?
yeah, I don't have any counter arguments. So for now, I'm willing to accept that. I just don't know who the people writing him
He
are.
is from the West Blue, though. So I guess there's not. Do they have Neptunians?
Well, no, there's like
giant.
there's giant whales like this in the Grand Line. Laboon has just not gone with them because he's waiting for his crew to come back.
Oh, right.
There's a Lunarian here, obviously. We don't know if this is King in particular. Maybe there's another Lunarian out there. But that is definitely a Lunarian. And we see a mermaid princess, possibly Shirahoshi. And this is a mink. I think the little bear next to them is supposed to represent the minks.
And the Tontata.
Yep, there's a tiny little Tontata there. Could be Leo, could be the princess of the Tontatas, but I think it's likely Leo since he's a little warrior. And
You think the big one next to them is a Buccaneer?
Which one?
Like the big guy with the shield next to the mink?
I think that's a giant, but because it's too big. Buccaneers are big, but they're not like giants. I think this is supposed to be representative of Loki specifically, and this is possibly just a regular giant from Elbaf. Representing like an Elbaf army of some sort. Perhaps Adrudan, I don't know. And of course, Josh mentioned this could be the 5 elders. I see that now, but there are 6 of them, so they're possibly the Holy Knights as well. I don't know.
Wait, where's the 6th one?
One in the very front of the boat. There's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I thought there's only the whole. I thought there was.
Oh, there's one hanging off the ship.
Yeah, there's one hanging off the
didn't
ship.
know
So
that.
there's 6 of them. Could be Holy Knights, could be whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the forces of Emu, either way. And obviously, this is Emu holding the Mother Flame, I would imagine. And yeah. This is, but that's my thoughts on what all of these things represent.
Look like Emu throwing that ill hook shot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. I hope I did a good job here, but this is what my notes
That
have
was a
said.
nice explanation. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely way more interested with the right side of the mural. I'm trying to see where
Because that's the
there's a
lore
clear-
side.
Yeah, where there's a clear, definitive I'm sure the 3 weapons is in this, even if it's like
Even
via
if it's obscured
metaphor.
somehow, some way. If you want to say that, like, maybe the samurai are writing Pluton in, that's a possibility because Pluton lives right beneath Wano.
The samurai.
Yeah, the little samurai. If you want to say that, if you want to mention that,
No, I don't think that's Pluton.
I mean, they don't know what it looks like. It could be a little. If anybody's I just think it's an interesting point to think where the ancient weapons could be in all this picture. And if I were to guess, the samurai could be writing in on Pluton because Pluton exists right beneath Wano.
I think the 3 weapons are all in the first picture. That's what I'm trying to say. Like on the right side, I think you have the arc. No, the arc isn't. No, that's one of the weapons, right?
Well, one of the weapons is a person, and that's Poseidon.
Yeah. Oh, so that. All right, never mind.
But the other 2
guess
are,
they-
I think the Uranus, not my anus, could be, it could be Maxim. Noah's not a weapon, I don't think, because it's just a ship.
Yeah.
But I think Noah's supposed to pull up with all of the Neptunians and all of the fishmen. But who's to say? I don't know.
Yeah, this is fucking epic. This is a insane lore dump.
Crazy lore dump, and I love it. I love every second of it. I spent like a half hour looking. It was like, what did I miss? What did I miss?
What did I wish? I need to remember everything on this mural for my trivia.
Josh is gonna fucking quiz me on it when he catches up to it.
500 chapters after this, Josh is gonna ask me about the mural, and I will have a perfect photographic memory of it.
Josh will have forgotten about the mural, and he will ask me about it.
The questions only count, like up until Saboti.
Okay.
Basically,
All right.
anything post Saboti, that's off limits.
Okay.
Because I remember that shit too.
Well, we'll see.
Not every detail, but
Well, we'll see.
I remember it enough for it to not be unbelievable that you remember it.
Mm-hmm.
How does that, if that makes sense?
That makes sense. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I thought this was an incredible chapter. You know me, I love lore. And this was a lot of lore. Very into it. I'm glad One Piece is not off next week. We are going to get some continuation here. Very excited about that. But those are my thoughts. Do you have any other thoughts, boys?
No.
Fantastic.